I think the Rabbi and Tammy and their entire family live a life that's meaningful.
The values that they want to teach as leaders are values that they live.
They exude inspiration for families.
Just by their own active leadership and participation in the life of the congregation.
The Hebrew Educational Alliance in the 1950s and the 1960s was a major Jewish institution here in town. In the 70s, we started to see a decline, primarily because the historic Jewish community on the west side of town was moving. The synagogue, to that point, had only had 2 senior rabbis. Rabbi Lederman had been our rabbi for many years. Rabbi Goldberger announced that he was going to be retiring. Both pillars of the Denver Jewish community, people that you would say were irreplaceable, and we found Rabbi Dollin.
There were big shoes to fill, but I think he has made his own footprints and has carried on the traditions, but with a new twist.
Rabbi Dollin came in at a very crucial time as far as the history of this congregation is concerned.
When the rabbi came to the congregation, we were sort of this sleepy, primarily geriatric congregation on the west side of town. The people there knew we had to move in order to survive and to grow.
We wanted to move to southeast Denver, where the great bulk of Jews in the metro area live, and also probably reevaluate our theology.
Rabbi Dollin and Gerard were really the visionaries, and I learned what a visionary was as opposed to a dreamer during this period of time. A dreamer has great ideas, but visionaries make it happen.
We had to figure out how to raise a substantial amount of money to build the edifice that we're in now.
Rabbi Dollin was very comfortable going, not only with me, but several of our board members to fundraise. He was the first one to say, we have to go see this person, we can go see this person. He wasn't afraid to ask them for certain amounts of money.
Rabbi just marched in, and he actually was able to get our largest gift, which was a real feat.
His outreach has been, I think, really quite outstanding.
It was very far-sighted vision. It was the right vision for the Alliance, and the success that we've had really testifies to that.
From the time the rabbi came, we were on the west side about 2 years, but then we made the move and spent about 1.5 years at the JCC and then at Thomas Jefferson High School as we were building this building. We left the west side with somewhere between 350 households, and over a decade, we grew to over 950 households.
I think we can be very pleased that Rabbi Dollin has made an extraordinary job in terms of maintaining the stature and the numbers of the congregation.
At the same time, we were changing from a traditional synagogue to a egalitarian conservative synagogue.
Change is very hard for a lot of people, especially the elder members of the congregation that didn't want to see change and didn't realize that if we didn't make the change, we wouldn't be there. Rabbi Dollin, we saw as being the one to help us make these changes. He was young, he was smart, he took very careful steps not to make the changes right away in order to keep the older members still feel a part of the congregation.
The rabbi spent a great deal of time teaching the congregation what the role of women in conservative Judaism would be, and at that point it became very attractive, particularly to people who had daughters, who wanted their daughters to have a bat mitzvah equal to their son's bar mitzvah.
Tammy, early in the rabbi's rabbinate, got very heavily involved. She's an incredibly strong advocate for women's rights.
She and Rabbi Dollin got involved in the community and really put our synagogue on the map. This was a young couple leading this congregation, and I think people, young people especially, wanted to be part of it. We saw the growth from so many more families. Our Hebrew school grew. It's such a warm and inclusive congregation. People loved coming here. They felt comfortable, even if they were just new members. So that was very important, and those changes made a difference.
Began and he shaped the entire future of the congregation up until this present time. Oshir Kadash has been a very significant thing as far as the congregation is concerned. About 5, almost 6 years ago, Rabbi Dollin took a sabbatical.
Rabbi Dollin had the foresight in going on his sabbatical to use that time to see other synagogues, to travel around the country and see what was going on in the innovation and creativity space of Jewish worship.
He visited over 18 religious institutions, almost all synagogues, but there were some mega churches, and there was a weekend in an ashram. And when he came back, he was rejuvenated.
Excited, inspired to start a new chapter for HEA.
And as a result of that, we have Shir Hadash.
Shir Hadash is a spirited musical experience that is also a vehicle for deep, meaningful prayer. People had never seen anything like this before. They'd never experienced prayer in this way.
The Shir Hadash service made it so much more enjoyable for many of us. The music and the choir that we have there, the people that were involved. There were older people, younger people singing, and you just wanted to be there. It made a big difference.
It has songs that just sort of touch your soul.
Tammy Dollin is really an extraordinary person and personality. She is multi-talented, she's extremely articulate, extremely knowledgeable.
Tammy Dollin is an Eshet Chayil. She is a powerful and talented Jewish educator and Jewish communal leader in her own right. And HEA has been blessed to have a partnership.
Tammy was not a traditional Rebbitzin. Tammy is someone who's gotten out in the community. Tammy's become a leader in Shir Hadash to the point that if you're looking for Tammy on Shabbos, you know where she is.
Tammy has modeled for me as a Rebbitzin about being strong, smart, and connected in the community. She has had her hand in many different areas, from the JCC to the day schools to Camp Vermont, the Rockies, to private learning sessions that she would do for circles of women. And as a woman and as a leader, she's shown how important it is to have a voice and a connection with individuals and with the community as a whole.
Rabbi Dollin was the propeller and is a propeller that has made the shul what it is today.
Every aspect of our congregation connects to Judaism one way or the other through Torah.
Rabbi Dollin has navigated his rabbinate the way that a marathon runner runs a race. Steady and focused, having that energy for the next step, that next phase, that next mile.
It's terribly important to the rabbi that the congregation survive and thrive. That's always been his laser focus.
Rabbi Dollin is an activist. He personally has always strongly identified with Israel. He has studied at the Hartman Institute for a number of years already.
Tammy led a women's trip to Israel several years ago. I know this affected Colby's decision to marry Noam and make Aliyah and become a rabbi, and all the other women in our community that have been touched through Tammy's leadership and passion and openness to creating personal change.
Rabbi Dollin's core themes, I would say, are ethical choices, basic human decency and kindness between people. He believes in honesty, truth, loyalty, and compassion. Basic, timeless values. That's what he's about.
I know a part of Rabbi Dollin's position that he takes very seriously and cares deeply about is his role as a chaplain and as a caregiver to people in need. And we were particularly touched as we went through our journey through Kobe's illness that Rabbi and Tammy always showed up for us.
He steps up and he shows up, and when you need him, he's there.
When my first wife was 44, we discovered that she had a really serious and unusual cancer. On the day that Lynn died, I had gone to work. I received a call from one of our caregivers saying that Lynn had just died, and it dawned on me that my two daughters were going to be coming home from school, probably within about half an hour. And I didn't think I could get home before they got there. I called the rabbi, and kind of an interesting thing was, he said, "Rick, I'm actually in your driveway. I was coming to visit Lynn." And I walked in the house probably about 30 minutes later, and he was on the couch with the two girls, and everything was calm, and he handled it beautifully. And that's something I will never forget.
One of the fondest memories I have of what Rabbi Dollin did was after 9/11 on Yom Kippur, everybody was hurting and everybody needed support, and I think we sang the national anthem, and it was tearful, but it was meaningful, and it made us all feel a little better.
Having grown a congregation from a very small synagogue into a very large synagogue with nearly 1,000 families, now his vision is, in a sense, to take it in the other direction, to take a large synagogue and make it feel again like a small synagogue, to help people connect intimately with other people in like-minded groups, in people that are in similar life phases. And the crux of our strategic plan and Rabbi Dollin's vision moving forward is a community of communities.
People think of rabbis and rebbitzins and Jewish communal people being sort of these bookish people and so forth, but they both are really very outdoorsy people. And whether it's going on their long bike rides, I've climbed 14ers with them, people don't always know that about them, that they really love the outdoors.
One of the cool things about Rabbi Dollin is that he introduced my Los Angeles-born husband to snowboarding and told him that that was part of the job description when we moved here to Colorado.
So the HEA rabbis were known as the snowboarding rabbis.
Fun example of what my parents do on a typical basis. They absolutely love going on walks, and they'll start going on a walk, but my dad is walking for exercise and my mom is walking to enjoy the scenery and the nature, so they naturally walk at very different speeds. So as they walk, they'll continuously get further and further apart from each other, and they'll constantly bicker back and forth about one of them speeding up or one of them slowing down. And they even try to continue their conversations when they're 50 to 100 feet apart. They'll yell back and forth to each other. It's hilarious.
Rabbi and Tammy Dollin, of course, have 4 wonderful children.
When you look at Rabbi Dollin's children, Yoni and Kiwi and Shai and Vivi, these are great kids who clearly absorbed the values that Tammy and Rabbi Dollin just made part of the atmosphere of their home. It's a great reflection on who Rabbi and Tammy are.
So congratulations to my father and my mother for reaching this milestone. I love you both.
Mazel tov to 25 years. I love you both, and l'chaim.
I'm so proud of all the work that you guys have done to create such a vibrant and a loving community.
I feel blessed to have them as my parents, and I want to say congratulations, Ima and Abba, and I hope many more years at the shul, many more years together. Mazal tov. I love you.
It has been my joy to watch Tammy and Bruce, the children, Yoni, Shai, Kiwi, and Vivi, and the Hebrew Alliance all grow over these past 25 years. And what an amazing growth it has been.
Bruce, growing up with you, we had no idea you were going to become a rabbi, but you've become one of the best.
Just want to let you know that we're really proud of you, and we're more proud of your family. Happy 25 years.
We wanted to say Mazel Tov on this wonderful Simcha. And we wanted to also say thank you to the Alliance and all they've given to the Dollin family.
And it's been wonderful having you, Tammy, and Bruce, and the rest of your family join us in our simchas. Congratulations.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Mazel tov.
Love you, Tammy and Bruce.
So proud of you.
Hi, Uncle Bruce. Greetings from Southern Vermont. Congratulations on 25 years. Mazel tov!
Mazel tov, Rabbi and Tammy, on your 25th anniversary with the Alliance. You have been instrumental in making us the vibrant congregation that we are today.
When Bruce graduated from college with honors, his father and I knew he had a bright future in store for him. And one of the bright things was that he happened to meet Tammy, his mate, who was not only beautiful in looks, but she was remarkable in the things she could do. He was also lucky to have found a congregation that he adored as family. I'm so proud of my son, of course, and his father would have been proud also.